Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WCS Winter Americas. We're going into our second series for the Americas group, and it's going to be a Zerg versus Zerg. My name is Fear Dragon. I am here with In Control, and we got a Zerg versus Zerg, as mentioned before. But you know what is a very common unit?
Stop saying it! Welcome to the Americas group. We got our ZvZ in this Americas group. It's the ZvZ coming up. Jeff?
I want to emphasize that it's Americas, because you might not think it. Based on the two players.
When two Taiwanese players are clashing?
Hong Kong and China, excuse you.
I apologize. You're right.
But we might be seeing a lot of Banelings in this particular match. And you know what would just complement those Banelings would be this wonderful War Chest Baneling skin. So if you want to be these two players, I can't guarantee any other methods, but this will at least give you a little bit of an edge in your mind against your opponent.
Oof. You want to be these two players? I can't guarantee it. This will give you an edge over your opponents in their mind.
Yeah.
All right. It's
It'll
day
make
4,
you
guys.
Feel cooler.
You're tired, right, Roby?
No, I'm actually quite alert.
You're like, this is my peak performance, actually.
The Life Fest. I'm like,
no, this is the best I could do. Why? Why you ask? It's like, well, we're having a good time here. It's been a lot of fun. Blizzard's taking good care of us. We've had some nice games, so thank you all for joining us. We're almost sad to go. Well, I guess we're probably not, because it's been a long 4 days at the same time, but we'll be resuming this coming week on Thursday. I will be replaced by Zombie Grub for that broadcast, which will be really fun. It's great to have her out here. And she's excited to cast some StarCraft as well. She's sampling California a little bit, eating the ramens and the pho. We had pho yesterday.
Yeah, those are the two most South California things that we can think of.
Other than probably Mexican food, I would say.
Yeah, we haven't really done that.
You can, though. You like that.
We could.
Yeah.
We could. But, of course, as mentioned before, it's going to be that Zerg versus Zerg, Rex versus GogojOey. GogojOey from Hong Kong and Rex from Taiwan.
Very cool. And, you know, I'm not going to pretend, and I doubt you are. Don't know anything about these players. I've seen GogojOey's name quite a bit, actually. He's a little bit more of a fixture in that scene. And I believe, and someone can correct me, I want to say, gosh, are you sure he's from Hong Kong? There was a Malaysian player that had a very similar name to him in Brood War, actually, but I don't think it's the same.
No. Definitely not Malaysia.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Hong Kong. And I think, like you, I've seen GogojOey's name in various brackets. I haven't actually gotten to see any of his games.
Okay.
But I think that he managed to make it out to an event or something like that. But again, this is still a really big opportunity for him. This is a chance to kind of prove yourself. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do that. This guy up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, given the GLHF, it is the Blue Zerg player, Rex. Spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, it is our red Zerg player. He is GogojOey. Or as the capitalization would be, it'd be GogojOey.
Yeah. Just because that capital O is what you got going
This is
there.
the capital O. That was the joke, actually.
Just throwing you off.
In fact, that was the entirety of the joke, Jeff.
I will say, I believe Rex's team wins for the worst clan tag I've seen. I don't think we got a chance to show it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. AFTVTW.
What is that?
From the virtual TV widescreen?
Oh, Rex's
TVs
clan
too,
tag?
actually, yeah. Away from the terrain
TV.
people tomorrow width.
Our producer's saying Africa, Taiwan.
Oh, Africa
group.
TV Taiwan. It's Africa TV Taiwan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Makes sense.
Way better than what I was saying. So ZvZ, of course, between these two fellers, we're seeing exactly the same thing from the two of them so far. This is on the Asia server, so ping should not be a huge issue for either of them, which is nice when that happens.
Yeah, and I believe that a lot of these players are playing kind of in these, because they're playing in the same region and everything, while we may not know as much about these guys, and we don't get to see as much of them in, say, the WCS circuit events and stuff, these guys probably do have some knowledge about each other, or probably played each other a little bit. ZvZ, sometimes you can have some of those mind games and stuff, of course, being mixed in, but also just you kind of get a feel of whether your opponent really likes to go for a lot of that early aggression. If you got someone like a no regret or something versus a Lambo or, you know, a Serral or something.
Sure. Can end up being a big deal. A lot of Overlords speckling the map in between the pathing for these two bases. But again, they're actually fully in alignment with each other, right down to just about everything.
Yeah. Well, until we see any of those kind of big differences come up, I know that you have certain impressions, especially about like the Taiwan scene and how the Protoss players tend to dominate there. But I think in general, the Taiwanese scene does have a bit of a reputation of being a little bit cheesier a lot of the time. Do you feel like that also extends out to like the Zergs or the Terrans?
From what I can tell, and again, as a non-expert, just speculating on what I've seen, yeah, I think it's a little bit across the board there. The Chinese scene as well. I think both these players come from a scene where they're more aggressive, is the commentator term you would say, but if you're just in Twitch chat and you're not giving political commentary, you might even say they're cheesy. Which is fine. It's a play style.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times, if you're going to go for a more quote-unquote aggressive play style, just kind of own it a lot of the time. Production was just saying that they checking something. You don't have to worry about it.
Checking.
Yeah.
That adjusting something. I was like, what are we adjusting?
Yeah. Baneling's being made on both sides. Just 2 for either one of them, which is kind of the defensive maneuver, and you can definitely tell it's a bit more defensive because Baneling's being morphed at home. You don't really want to walk those across the map when there are speedlings on the map. So both these players can tend to get up their third bases, get up a lair, get up an Evo chamber, and kind of bring this out, I would say, most likely into the Roaches, but we don't actually have the Roach horns down just yet. And melee upgrade even coming out over here for GogojOey.
That's right. +1 melee attack. Would you say that's for Roaches, Roby?
In some scenarios, no. In other scenarios, also no.
But what's nice about that is because both of what you just said is non-100%. In other scenarios, it's yes. You know
it could be. You know, in that one scenario where you want to fool your opponent by revealing +1 weapon links and then just make non-stop Roaches.
Well, I'm just saying it's kind of funny the way we talk, right? Like, you didn't say equal parts. You didn't say like in half the scenarios it's X and then in half scenarios Y. You said in some and some and some.
Yeah.
But what if we broke down all possible scenarios into 2 or 1 of 20 or 30? Then you could say that 6 or 7 more times.
Yeah, but I mean, in reality, you're the one that crunches the numbers. So I can't break down all the scenarios.
Think about the saying too. In reality, like in what other sense does anyone ever talk? Right.
I mean, if you listen to most of my commentary, very little of it is based in reality.
Well, that's it. That's just it, Robbie. I want to believe it's not based in reality, but even what you say is still based in reality. It's double spire, by the way. We haven't had Muta versus Muta in a long time.
Oh, nice wall off on that kind of area over there. I was about to say, nice wall up on the wall. The Queen does prevent those links from
That's all I
running.
want. I just want you to question everything you're saying. That's it.
You're successful. Whoa, the Banelings all survive a big investment there, and then a lot of the Banelings go down.
I can't tell what just happened there. There's like 3 Banelings that kind of hit stuff. And
so I think the summary there was that the Banelings all went off on morphing in Banelings, so neither one of them get any Banelings, and we end up evened out. 4 workers go down, but it's still pretty even worker counts.
I think I'm going to have a tough time catching up with this commentary because I still want to go back to the moment that you wanted to say that the wall off was good at the wall off. And then I'm like, you're tired, right? You're like, no, I'm very rested.
I'm actually quite alert.
I'm everything here, yeah. That's just what I thought.
Well,
here we go.
Baneling's going to be ignoring each other this time.
Banelings are gross, by the way, if you look at them. It looks like a tick that just lodged itself from a person. It's like, I'm full. I actually can't fit anymore. Doesn't it? It's gross.
It's so full, it's about to burst.
It's a rushing zit.
Okay, we got some more Banelings going off. One Baneling gets a detonation off in the mineral line, softening up some workers, but that's not going to be enough without the +2 melee upgrade to actually seal the deal. Even that +1 melee upgrade for GogojOey, it's making a small impact, but not enough to really break through or really push his opponent back too much further. And we are going to go into just the Muta versus Muta wars with single Roach coming out for Rex. I wonder if that's a eventual transition into more Roaches, or okay, he's going for missile attack as well, so I don't know if it was some weird mind game where you make one Roach. It's like, this is just the entire investment of my Mutas. Just 5 Mutas. So now I'm making Roaches.
I mean, you're not wrong. It is weird, right? He literally made 1 Roach. So there's the thing I'm struggling with is that you're starting to commentate it like that's the kind of, I mean, people want that level of
sense. Yeah. I'm trying to make sense of the decisions as I see them.
I know.
Jeff,
it's good.
And my mind can't move fast enough sometimes.
Okay. I mean, listen, you're the one doing it.
I know.
You're the brave soul. I'm back here just laughing at you trying, so we're doing good. You're doing great. Both players going Mutas here, though. I wonder if they kind of know. Well, they're about to. The Mutas are...
Yeah.
The blue Mutas of Rex are making their way to the southern part of the map where there are some Lings.
I think also when you see so many Lings this late into the game at the 8-minute mark, you could maybe be going into Roaches, but usually you'll have already done it by now.
Well, they know. Yeah. They know now.
Muta's been revealed.
Muta versus Muta is a weird fight. It's not like it was in Brood War where you try to get Plague or anything like that. And in StarCraft 2, there is, of course, AoE spells. Like, if you get to Hive, Viper just shuts down Muta versus Muta so hard, it's just not even funny. So it always makes it kind of weird, because if you keep making Mutas, you can be the one that wins the air battle and then kills Spore Crawlers. But if you just keep making, everyone gets to 4 or 5 bases, and then all of a sudden there's Vipers, it's like mutually assured destruction.
I think the tough thing here is that, okay, well, Plus1 Carapace does finish for Rex in time. There is a mild Muta lead here for GogojOey, but it's sometimes hard to tell whether or not you're ahead on Mutas.
Can't count the wings, my man. Nobody knows.
It's pretty tough. And, of course, Rex also stacking up some of his Mutas. Okay, turns around with only half of the Mutas, so fights with half of them for a little bit. The Lings are going to be able to get underneath this army. That's to soak up those Glaive Worm bounces, spread out the damage so your Mutas survive a little longer. And this could be the deciding fight of the game.
Yeah, it's super exciting here.
I didn't think of anything that could respond to that better than just that.
The funny thing about Muta battles like this, where it is just a slight lead, it's not like Phoenix or some of these other things where you'll win by a gigantic margin. Mutas generally will kill each other pretty efficiently, even if there's just a plus or minus 2 or 3 on one side or the other. What it oftentimes does do is this, though. It opens up opportunities for Lings to get in there and do a lot of damage. And at the end of the day, look at the supplies. Look at them. There's a 5 worker difference in an army, an 8 army difference. It's nothing. The game's fine.
Yeah, the Mutas ended up trading out very evenly against each other as well, so it's not just Zerglings as the army difference.
Right.
We end up seeing more of these Mutas being a bit more aggressive here for Rex, though. He is the one that's been able to pick off drones with those Lings like you were talking about with the counter attack. He's the one getting in his opponent's face and diving on top of that hatchery. There are a few Lings on the other side of the map trying to get some equalizing damage done. That one Ling gets picked off before he kills the drone. Did Rex overcommit over here? This is a lot more Mutas over here for GogojOey. I don't even know what you laugh about anymore.
GogojOey.
Is his irony because
if you slow his name down, it becomes like a statement. I like that. You're doing fine. I'm just
rooting for him.
Look, guys, I went to sleep at 2 a.m. last night and woke up at 5, and it's the 4th day in a row of early rising for some commentary. So if Jeff gets a little bit loopy, I hope you can forgive it.
Okay, Lings for Rex are going to completely overwhelm GogojOey's Lings. A couple of Banelings trying to morph in. One of them gets canceled. The rest of the Lings diving in on top of that hatchery.
Get close. No.
No.
Pulls out. A lot of drones died there, though.
10 drones. That's not bad. They are at evened up work counts once again, though.
This is like a TVT at this point in time. Like, they keep killing each other, but it's just equal the whole time.
GogojOey is climbing a little bit further ahead in that Muta flock, though. Up 7 Mutas. And like you said, it's kind of like the Phoenix Wars, where you don't win by 7 Mutas if you have a 7 Muta advantage. You win by 15, 20 Mutas.
Yeah, I was saying the opposite, but I like it.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they don't snowball super hard like Phoenix do.
Oh, okay.
They can.
I'll trust you on that.
Yeah, I'll try to save you here. So like later when you get more attack upgrades, which they're starting to get here, the glaives do more damage, and when you have 30 and 40 Mutas, sure, maybe the snowball effect happens even greater. I was more talking about like 15 versus 17. You don't win by 7 or 8 or something. You win by literally 2 or 3.
Fair enough. Well, the Mutas are getting a bit more aggressive for once here for GogojOey. This is one of the first times it's not just a small Ling counterattack on the other side of the map. Mutas engaging against each other, and it is 32-24. This is very much going in, or was going in favor of GogojOey. The Queen's added DPS helping out a little bit, but it is still a 10 Muta advantage here for GogojOey.
And the follow-up fight right there is the big mistake. I mean, every time you chase in, you're like, you know what, that was actually a bad idea. You're going to lose 4 or 5 mutas, and if you were already down 4 or 5 mutas, well, guess what? Anything outside of a Spore Caller is dead now. So that's going to be this base right here, and with the Lings able to snowball below these mutas, he might even be able to apply pressure to third. If he's able to get there, then this game just is flat out over. It feels very over right now, but it could just be more so.
Well, Rex is doing his best to stay alive while he has a massive Ling flood on the south side of the map. That's maybe giving him a little bit more hope, but as he loses more and more of these mutas, it's now 20 mutas in favor of GogojOey. The Ling's getting some damage done.
Did you see that queen?
Got fully surrendered.
No, it glitched.
Ah.
It glitched. Anyways, nice win for GogojOey. He was able to take the early muta count as Ruby was keeping us up to date throughout the game, and snowballed it into a significant muta count, and then was able to win.
Yeah. I think you were mentioning it before. We don't really see muta versus muta that often these days, and I feel like it's because mutas used to be that thing that would just be almost every single ZvZ, and then we gradually just started shifting more and more back to the Roach versus Roach stuff. I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you, like, what's the meta in China and Taiwan for ZvZ right now, but I do feel like it might be one of those things, we're going to wait and see, that the European server, where we usually see a lot of the top Zerg players playing, is shifted more over to Roaches. But I know that, for example, Scarlet really likes going into Ling muta stuff. She also is much more in touch with, say, the Chinese scene, that kind of stuff. So she might be picking up some of that stuff from there. This actually could be something we see again, as much as we were saying it's a bit more of a rarity.
I always think mutas are super strong in ZvZ. If I think back to some of the ways that Cyril dropped maps in ZvZ in 2018, a lot of it was the muta play. But, like you said, the European scene, and even the American scene where there are some good Zergs there as well, in Koreans, I don't see dark go mutas too terribly. I know that they still do it probably more than the Europeans, but not even close to 50-50. Well, this is what I'm looking forward to. Further down in the WCS Winter Tournament, we're going to have interviews with players, or at least that's the plan for now, is hopefully we can make that happen. I'd love to start asking them these kind of questions, like, why don't we see more mutas in ZvZ?
I, too, will really look forward to asking GogojOey or Rex that question and then not having a translator.
That is a scenario that can happen. I think if Jim Rising takes care of business, we might not have to worry about that.
Oh, for a second they were saying Jim Rising is a translator.
No.
Okay.
He'll defeat them, and they will not advance, and then we don't have to worry about it.
Okay. We'll see if Mark Alberts gets that wish resolved, or if this guy up here in the top left-hand corner of the map is going to have something to say about it. Blue Zerg player. He is Rex from Taiwan. Taiwanosaurus Rex. I just thought of it.
Nice.
That's nice. A little late.
Sounds good.
A little late for it. Starting down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have the red Zerg player. He is GogojOey from Hong Kong.
Last game very aggressive, very scrappy. Lots of Lings being active despite the Mutalisk, which is cool to see. And pretty aggressive expanding from both players. In the ZvZ, you don't too terribly often see get up to 4 and 5 bases, but that is what we had there. And so far, mirror image is of each other as well. Sometimes you'll mix up in a best of 3 and go for like an early pool, or you'll change things up quite a bit. Maybe we'll still see that. But it's a tough spot to be in if you're Mr. Rex. So if you lose this game, then you're up for elimination, and you're facing a tough Zerg in Jim Rising. If you win, though, you're also in a kind of tough spot. You're facing one of the absolute best non-Koreans there are.
Yeah. I don't feel like Rex got horribly outplayed that last game. He was doing a nice job with a lot of the Ling run-bys and stuff. I think it was you were talking about the weapon upgrade for the mutas that made things especially a bit more difficult for some of those engagements. And from there, GogojOey got that Mutalisk lead and was able to kind of turn that into an eventual win as it built up more and more. But could definitely see Rex turn this around. I don't think he, by any means, is kind of at a hard wall, can't pass through.
Rex, I don't want to make the biggest deal of this either. He was also the guy that we kind of humorously point out made the +1 range attack upgrade and then made a single Roach. I didn't see if he got Roach speed. But, again, I don't think it's the biggest of deals, but that is the difference between 1 or 2 more Mutalisks, and then if you take a slightly bad fight, you lose a couple more. Lings get in there and did kill some drones earlier on for him. So those kind of things do have the little rippling effect that from there you're always kind of behind. I do feel that there are ways in ZvZ in those kind of battles to take advantage of getting back into it. Spore Crawler's like 3 or I think it's 4-shot Mutalisk, so it's
Mm-hmm.
very powerful. You only need a couple of them at each expansion, and all of a sudden they're not really touching it. And then if you're only worried about Lings, your own Lings can defend, your Mutalisk can defend, and then you can kind of get back into it, equalize and upgrades. Or, and they were both on 4 bases, that's when you can afford things like 3 or 4 Infestors, and all of a sudden a fungal growth on their entire Muta army really shifts the battle.
Yeah. How do you feel about the fungal growth specifically with the... I mean, it's an old nerf at this point.
Yeah.
You just haven't seen many Muta versus Mutaflox anymore.
Uh-huh.
But the fungal growth versus Mutas, where it doesn't suddenly stop them entirely. They can have a bit more time to spread out.
You know, it's less so the slowing them down, which is, of course, nice. It's more so just that every single Mutalisk takes a pretty decent amount of damage. So all of a sudden, those Glaive Worm bounces are finishing off Mutas earlier on. And I don't want to get too mathematical with you guys right now, mostly because I'm terrible at it. But the quick explanation is the higher DPS you have, and when things start to fall off and the other opponent is kind of maintaining that DPS, it snowballs. It has a cascading effect as opposed to just like, you know, dominoes or something like that.
Yeah, kind of funny aggression here coming out from Rex. Both these players...
They're both doing it to each other.
Both players stop making a lot... Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel. And the funny thing is GogojOey didn't get a bunch more workers out or anything. He made about the same number of Lings, but he is getting caught in an awkward spot. He has a very small number of Lings on the other side of the map, but his Lings are getting surrounded here, and he's even going to end up losing the Queens on the ramp. Yeah.
Queen's getting low there. They both do die, and like you said, the low Ling count on the other side of the map is getting some work done, but not nearly the same amount.
Yep.
Now, these are Roaches about to pop out, so as long as the damage is not too crazy, this could actually be pretty good for him, because Roaches, of course, will absolutely eviscerate these Lings.
That is the last Queen also going down, so those Larva Injects going to be hurt on top of the fact that the third base got sniped off. Like you said, those Roaches pop on out and pushing those Zerglings back, but there's not even real mining happening at the natural during all of this. So while...
I hear you, but there's a drone surge coming out from Rex on the other side of the map. So I think he's just saying, if you send those Roaches, I'm just going to run right past you and go kill everything. And that is quite the real threat. It is going to be Lings behind this for GogojOey.
Yeah, I think exactly what you were saying. He needs to buy time with these Zerglings, or otherwise...
Okay, he's got 5 of his own Roaches coming out, too.
Yeah, and also reestablishing that third a lot earlier than GogojOey, who is adding on an extra drone or 2, but also still getting up a lot of Lings, getting up a Baneling nest.
Yeah.
Does he want to commit?
I don't like the Baneling nest here, by the way, at all. That has me thinking I wanted to say he's about to do like a Roach Baneling timing attack, which is also quite bad, but he's actually adding drones. The Baneling nest here is weird because Roaches are more than enough answer for Lings. It's not like Banelings tip that over into all of a sudden, okay, now you're safe from Lings.
I wonder if he, I'm not sure if this is something he would expect right now, but if he is thinking, I've just been seeing Zerglings, maybe he's getting +1 melee, and in that case, low numbers of Roaches versus +1 melee Lings can sometimes get surrounded.
Yeah,
picked off.
So I don't want to overthink it, but just to give my logic so people can have their own back and forth, I suppose. If you lose drones or suffer any kind of loss, playing safe moves or like predicting a move and then saying this might be a good answer is all like doubling down on something that can backfire on you. And it is going to be that Roach Baneling timing attack, and we've seen this work. It's just that Rex has been building his own Roaches, so like I said, it still can work. It's not the most crazy thing in the entire world. The Banelings connect with his Roaches. It just absolutely does soften them up.
Okay, well, we end up seeing GogojOey getting situated here, and Rex going to have his Overlords scouting out how many Banelings have been made. Got to be careful with those Lings of his own, although it is mostly going to be about the Roaches now. Roaches retreating back and sniping off Baneling after Baneling. A beautiful spread out there from Rex.
Really nice micro.
Completely shut down.
Absolutely. And he's going to have an almost 30 supply advantage from that. And on the other side of the map, GogojOey is now making drones, but as you pointed out earlier, Ravi, he didn't even start his third base. So he's falling back with fewer Roaches, and he's making drones because you kind of have to, but he's doing it at a 30 supply differential, and no third. So he's in a bad spot.
I like that GogojOey is at least staying on the offensive here with some mobile Lings to try and pull his opponent back, but I don't think Rex is going to be taking the bait. Even his reinforcements are enough to delay this from doing any real damage, or much less actually any damage whatsoever. A couple Lings going to make their way into the main, but the Roaches are undeterred.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them. Now some Ravagers as well. Let's get a check here and see that there is actually a third. I mean, like, GogojOey's playing as if, yeah, exactly, he's just going to tap out here, but he was like, He was droning as if he wasn't about to get attacked, and he was taking a third as if he wasn't being attacked, which at first glance looks weird, but when you're that far behind, you actually have to do really weird stuff to try to get back into it, or you just get out of the game. In this case, he was like, maybe Rex gets a weird idea and doesn't attack, and if he doesn't, then I can kind of come back. He did, so we're all tied up.
Very, very fast-paced game in that second game.
Yeah.
As pretty different from the kind of Muta Wars that we saw in the first one.
It was different, yeah.
And with a tied-up series, this is now an elimination game. The loser of the next game gets knocked out of WCS Winter.
No.
Oh,
no.
Sorry. This is the second series of Americas. I'm not tired. I just need to keep restating that I have no excuses whatsoever.
And then Robbie's like, are the lights getting brighter? Why? Can you guys leave me alone? Okay. No, we're having fun.
Yeah. Wow.
Hopefully you guys are as well. Scrappy game here, but you know this group. This is an interesting group because it's a lot of it. It is a part of the WCS that we celebrate and like, but it's also a little interesting. Neeb lands in a group that he should cakewalk, right? Like if he beats Jim Rising and loses to one of these two guys, that'll be the story of like all 4 of our WCS days, but probably won't happen. And then if Jim Rising is not able to clean up in this opportunity, because it's a great group for him as well. ZvZ is one of his best matchups. Both these guys are good in their respective regions, but Jim Rising's a top North America Zerg. He's a guy that climbs the top of that ladder. He's in the Pizza Pie Weeklies. He's in those ladder heroes, the stuff that you put on, and he does well. He competes against the best. So it feels like this group's a little bit predetermined, and these guys are just kind of fighting for their chance to show off their skills. But I'd love to be wrong at the same time. If anyone's like, Jeff, you're so arrogant, it's like, that's okay. Let me be wrong.
All right, we're going to be starting up here on year 0 in the top right-hand corner of the map. Top of the blue Zerg player from Taiwan. He is Rex. And his opponent spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, the red Zerg player. He is GogojOey, Hong Kong. Talon Esports.
I like it. Sounds kind of, it sounds military-like. It's very cool.
Sounds American.
Yeah, I can see that.
Thinking bald eagles and stuff.
Uh-huh. The Roman legions use a lot of iconography like that as well.
Eagles? Or just hawks and birds?
Yeah. Birds, I think, more. A little bit. A little. Not that much. I'm making it kind of... I'm making a bit of a stretch of a reference there, yeah, to be fair. When I said Roman legions, what I really meant was the holy empire of the 40K universe. The Imperium, which borrows from the Roman legions, but also adds to it.
Oh, interesting. I didn't actually know that.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. That'll make comment. Okay, good. Screen went black. I was like, guys, radio broadcasts, let's do it. Ravi, what would you like to see here? We saw Mutas. We saw the Roach, the Lings back and forth. What are you hoping for in Game 3?
Personally, or what I want to see the players go for?
Personally.
Personally?
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy Ling Muta, just because I think while the Muta counts can sometimes come down to just numbers,
okay,
there's a lot of interesting play with the Zergling run-bys, and I think one of my favorite things is watching a player that has fewer Mutas still make kind of a comeback happen, or make it work with a lot of really well-positioned Ling run-bys that Mutas can't really get into all the positions to actually deal with.
Can I raise you one?
Let's do it.
Both players, okay, about 8 minutes in. Mass queens, so I'm not talking something ridiculous, but 9 or 10 queens.
To be clear, this is what you want, right?
Yes, and Lings. They both Nidus each other at exactly the same time. They both snipe the other one's Nidus canal, so it's a one-way trip. They base trade down to like spine crawlers that they then walk to the middle of the map, and then the queens walk from either side of each other to decide the game, but it takes like 5 minutes because they're so slow.
Are they? What did the spine crawler do in the middle of the map though? If there's no
tries to survive, they're just there. Because it's true base trade. Because if you lose the spine crawlers, you die.
So you just keep them with the queens.
Yeah, that's what is happening. Or even better than that, they don't even fight in the middle of the map. They actually just chase each other. But it's queens walking off creep and spine crawlers walking off creep. Bleeding, actually, now that I think about it, right? They would bleed?
They don't bleed if they're
when you
walking.
Pick them up, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I have seen base trades decided, though, by a Zerg player not unburrowing a spine crawler.
Oh, yeah. No, the decision making you have to make at the end of the game in those base trades, I pride myself on that as a player, particularly. I think I'm very good at, but I can't remember what it was. But it's also one of those things where you can just lose because in the 2-second window you're like, no, I'll do this thing, and that's just absolutely the wrong thing. The screen flashes up, you hit the rewind, you look, and you go, oh, I could have just done that one thing different. Like you have 400 minerals, you could have made the Nexus, but you didn't quite get there because you're like, you know what, this other base will be better, and then you get eliminated.
Yep.
Base trades make you feel pretty silly, but some players are very good at it.
Yeah. I think some of my favorite moments are still when, I think we had, if I'm remembering correctly, we definitely had one of those base trades happen in either WCS Winter or in another online tournament very recently where a player, it's the fun situation where the player actually has enough resources to throw down another building and they just forget.
Yeah, that's a big one. Or they don't realize it, but then they have enough money to like make a Phoenix to hit that floating building that they couldn't get to or something.
Yeah. That's actually the thing that I forget the most in PvTs, where I'll say, well, I have enough resources to build a Nexus, and that's the most important thing. It's like, actually, I probably should have made a Stargate and a Phoenix.
And then you just could have won.
Yep.
Yeah, these situations happen.
Okay, well, these players both getting up to 3 bases, both getting up their layers, but there is a small little difference in that one of these players is getting up a Roach Horn, the other one just making a few more Lings. We'll see if that Roach Horn's going to come down eventually, or if after that lair finishes, we're going to have kind of what we almost could have had in game number 1, but didn't, which is Mutaling versus Roach. As +1 weapons on the way. This definitely looks like a bit more of a commitment here for GogojOey into the Roaches. And it's just Lings and Baneling so far for Rex with that lair finished up. Yeah. Actually sitting on just 41 workers, he is really committing to get some aggression done.
Yes, I believe that to be the case. He's going to be coming forward. 20 Lings behind that as well. Baneling! They connect all the Zerglings.
That's a good start for your all-in.
Not bad. That's kind of the find of the century. And now the Banelings are trying to connect over there. They do get 2 for 2 there, but they've got more work to do.
So, Jeff, let me ask you, does 40 Zerglings beat 1 Ling?
I believe... What? It's 1?
It's 1 Zergling right now. Cool. And 3 Roaches.
Man, this is about to be pretty over. All the drones dead on the 3rd base. They're dislodged and running. I believe the natural has been cracked. No, that Queen held, actually. Roach is behind it, so they actually hold that wall in.
3rd base is going to go down, and there's even a Spire on the way behind this for Rex, which, did it get scouted? No, didn't quite get scouted just yet, but he's going to know soon.
Yeah, we'll know pretty soon. Some Roaches coming out here to try to defend. That's a mistake. There's too many Lings out here. You actually can't, I mean, what are you going to do, by the way? The hatch is dead, so why are you even fighting over here?
Yeah, better to just save these Roaches behind the wall in, and he's actually, I guess, kind of baits the Lings forward, but now the Queen's going to go down as well.
Oh, I mean, baits the Lings forward. It's like baiting a pack of tigers to eat your face. Here we go.
Nidus Worm, Desperation Nidus Worm coming up from GogojOey, just hoping if I get up enough Roaches and can just hold this wall, maybe I can get to the other side of the map and do equalizing damage versus pure Zerglings, but with the Spire about to finish up, even that is going to be a pretty difficult ask.
Yeah. Well, Rex doing a good job. I mean, a lot of times when you're this aggressive, by the way, you don't scout with an Overseer, but he's going to go in there. The Nidus is going in a tricky spot where it will not be spotted, but I believe what comes up, oh, it is spotted anyways. What shows up just dies here. It's not a, it's lesser.
+1 missile Roaches will 2-shot the Zerglings. The Banelings are actually a really nice touch here from Rex because they can splash damage onto the Roaches, or even just be used to clean up that Nidus Worm if he really wants to make sure there's no escape here.
God.
But, oh, that's the best splash damage you could have asked for.
Yeah. It's time to tap out, bud. We got another game.
Yep.
GogojOey versus Jimmy. It's going to be the battle of the Jays. Who's stronger, Jimmy or Joey?
Probably Jimmy, maybe. I think there's another Nidus Worm coming down on the south side, and I don't know that the mutas were actually revealed, but there aren't even mutas being made. He's just
hard to
rallying
reveal them if you don't have them.
Yep. Well, he's making a few. I would say mutas are revealed if the Spire gets scouted, Jeff. Now you're just nitpicking.
You said it to yourself. That's why I'm laughing. You said, I don't think the mutas have been revealed, and then your next thing you said was he hasn't made any. What do you want me to do? I was put on this earth to troll. How do I stop?
Roach is doing surprisingly well versus these.
You guys like some spaghetti? I don't have any. I'm just wondering if you'd like some. This battle. Go ahead and describe that for me, by the way. What's happening here? There's acid flying around. There's transfusions.
GogojOey is getting a surprising amount of damage done. Even the workers being pulled off the line. The mutas gradually picking away at these roaches and queens, and they are eventually finally going to be able to clean things up. Worker counts have evened up at this point.
That was surprisingly good. I gotta tell you, I know that it makes a difference in some fights, but I'm very critical of people that pull workers for some of these fights. It does happen where like that is the difference, and then you hold and then you actually win from there. But I find it happens more often that they pull them and they didn't need to, and then they lose, or it does way more damage than it ever should have.
Yeah, when you win and you don't have many workers anymore, so you have absolutely no transition, but you have an army that's kind of useless now because it's not big enough to actually kill them. Yeah,
it's tough though, by the way. I'm saying this with the full acceptance that there is very legitimate arguments for why I'm wrong in this case. It's just my gut instinct to say that, and generalize as well, that a lot of times people do it incorrectly. But that's not to say you don't do it at the other time too, right? Like if you never pull and that could have been the difference in you surviving and winning from there, then hey, that's just as wrong.
Well, Rex just redroning like a madman is going to get it back up to 52 workers.
Look at Joey. He's like, you went Spire? Nobody told me about that. I'll go Spire too. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I guess I could kind of see this work where sometimes a Zerg... well, hold on.
Okay, go for it.
Sometimes a Zerg player will say, okay, I went for the mutas. They did their damage. I got map control. Now I'll start getting up my own roaches because of the more durable, safe unit. And if a Zerg player goes for super... it's like you were saying in the previous game, right? Where you're already behind. You have to double down and take a risk. And his risk is, if you just go back into roaches, maybe I can surprise you with mutas.
I hear you. Let me tell you what it is to me. Okay, this is showing up to a triathlon where you thought the first leg of the race was going to be the biking portion, but it's actually the swimming portion. But instead of just being like, well, I guess I'm so far behind, I should just tap out like he does now, he goes, I'm going to ride my bike through the ocean. And he starts a Spire, and I'm like, you're going to be behind 15 mutas, and this game's not going well for you, so I don't know in what world you're like, maybe I just make more than him somehow.
But Jeff, think about how confused the other contestants will be.
Well, yeah.
Because they won't
see
the
mutas
bike.
show up, they won't see
just
the bike.
I think this guy is taking it easy.
They're like, is that legal? Don't stop me.
Are you doggy paddling? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. He is going to be moving on after some solid muta play. Be able to take that game. Got a little bit dicey there with the Nidus Worm play, but no third base, no drones, made it hard.
Well, Rex with the reverse kill, though, by the way. He lost that first game, and then it was looking like GogojOey was the stronger player. Rex gets sweeped, or Rex sweeps, excuse me. So nice. So that sets up Rex versus Mr. Neeb. But our next match is going to be a ZvZ between Jim Rising and GogojOey. I know what you're thinking. I'm not going to go anywhere. What's In Control going to tell me? He's going to tell you not to go anywhere. So we're going to do a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's going to be Mexico versus Hong Kong? Taiwan.
Hong Kong.